Hi, welcome to what I think is part 3. I might have got a bit muddled on the last video, but it doesn't really matter. This short video is about the rules, regulations and quirky things that happen in Thailand. Now, when you get to Thailand, you will notice that there's an awful lot of huge hoardings with pictures of the late king, the queen, now the queen mother, and the new king. Don't take the mick. There's a thing in Thailand called Lisma Gest. I think it's pronounced that way. It basically means that if you say anything derogatory, rude, or even take the mick out of anybody in the royal family, you will get arrested, you will go to jail. There are no two ways about it. Don't ruin your holiday by being stupid when you've had a few drinks, and you'll see the king's pictures everywhere in Thailand. Every house will have pictures of them. Don't be stupid. You could be saving yourself a lot of grief. The other thing is it's an aside from this. There's the money. Treat Thai money with respect. It has the picture of the king on it. I'll come to that more in a moment. So let's call that number 1 and move that out of the way slightly. Number 2, drugs in Thailand. Again, very, very strict. You will go to jail if you're caught using any marijuana, ease, that sort of drug system. You will be jailed for using it. The death penalty is involved if you're importing or exporting hard drugs, heroin, ease, and everything else that goes with it. So just don't do it. Keep well away. You might find that in some areas you'll go into a small bar and somebody is using marijuana. Leave that place straight away, because if the police raid it, you will be arrested because you're there. And also, it does happen quite frequently. A bar will be blockaded, front and back doors will be barricaded. You will be let out one at a time and required to give a urine sample, and you will wait there until that sample is tested. If it shows you've been using any drugs, you will be arrested. You will go to jail. Don't use it. Don't hang around in drugs, and don't be tempted to buy any. A few years ago, about 15 years ago, there was a big kerfuffle. Undercover policemen wandering around and offering foreigners drugs, and then promptly arresting them. Now, I didn't see that. I only heard about it, so how true it is, I don't know. But bear in mind, steer well clear of drugs. It's not worth the problems that will occur if you caught. If you go and have a look at the Thai jail system on YouTube, you'll find it's very unpleasant, so it's better not to do it. Another thing to remember in Thailand: heads and feet. The head is very important to all Buddhists. It's where the soul is, and it's also the point that's highest away from your feet, which are in contact with the ground, which are the lowest thing. So never touch a Thai's head or a Buddhist's head. It's very rude, and it could get you into trouble. Also, don't use your feet as a tool. Don't point with your feet, and don't sit in a situation where you're pointing the sole of your foot at people. Again, very rude. We'll just pop back again now to the money. If you drop money, Martin, be quiet. If you drop money, don't try and catch it with your foot. You leave yourself open to arrest, because you are putting your foot on the king's head. So remember it. It is important. It's something we in the West do. We just don't think, but do not do it in Thailand. Treat money with respect. Don't crumple it up and stick it in your pocket. It'll be frowned upon, and some Thais might refuse to take it from you because it's bad luck. The laws on not the laws, no, the rules on our money when you're taking it over there. Go and order your money and take new money out with you. The Thais don't like it if it's been written on, which a lot of our bank tellers do, is that they'll write down what's left in the pile. A lot of Thais don't like that. It's bad luck again. So when you're coming into somebody's house, room, or a small business where the shop is part of their home, leave your shoes outside. Take your shoes off. Be very careful. If it's raining, there's no such thing as non-slip tires in non-slip tiling in Thailand. You don't want to go flying, but leave your shoes or sandals or flip-flops outside. Don't take them in. If you do this as a matter of course, the Thais will respect you greatly for doing it, so it's worth doing. Number 5 on my list is vaping. The law at the moment in Thailand is that it is illegal to import or export anything to do with vaping. It doesn't give any allowances for personal use. However, having said that, I'm an ex-smoker and I do vape, and last time we were over in Thailand I did take my e-cigarette with me, and nothing was said. So what I would suggest is that if you are going over and you're going to take your vape with you, be sensible, be discreet, everything might be okay. But it's a chance you take. If you get policeman sees you vaping and blowing a huge cloud of smoke out, and he's had a bad day, he can go over and he can arrest you. I think it's about up to £1,000, and you can confiscate your equipment or give you a small on-the-spot fine. I'm not going to say too much about that. On-the-spot fines, that is. But just be aware that vaping is not legal in Thailand, regardless of what you've said. If you don't believe me, you can send an email to TAT, the Tourist Authority, and they'll tell you the same thing. So there you go, up to you. Also, you have to be 20 to purchase alcohol in Thailand. However, having said that, I not been able to get it clarified on the rules where you're allowed to drink in your own home. Our kids are allowed to drink in their own home, but I don't know what the rules are in Thailand, so be aware of it, be careful. You'll also notice there are a lot of places like the shopping malls don't sell alcohol at certain times of day, and to be honest I can't remember. Just Google it, it'll tell you. But the small family-run establishments out in the villages and small towns, they seem to be okay. They seem to be able to sell it any time of the day, mainly because they tend to allow drink on those premises. So there you go. You can buy a few bottles in the village shop, but if you want to get a decent deal and you want to go to Tesco Lotus, find out what time it is and go and buy your beer by the case. Where are we now? Okay, littering. Very strict in Thailand. You wouldn't believe it in some areas that you can be walking through a very unkempt place and drop your fag on the floor and put it out with your foot, and if there's a policeman watching you, it can be an on-the-spot fine. So don't litter. It's also illegal to go commando in Thailand, so there you go, don't go commando. Also, don't wander around on the street or in public in your swimwear. Guys, put a t-shirt on if you're dripping wet. Ladies, you could get yourself into trouble wandering the streets and the promenades in a bikini. The police, more often than not, will ask you just to return to the beach and dress. But if they see you wandering around in a bikini and there's a monk passing early in the morning, the police will take the side of the monk. It's not fair that he should have a look away from you because you're wandering around and disrespecting them. So girls, wear a long t-shirt or stick a pair of shorts on if you need to go away from the beach to the loo or whatever. Don't push your luck, it's not worth it. Also, don't point with your finger. Impolite. If you need to direct somebody, use your hand, an open hand. So you'll get away with that. Also, on the same things, don't whistle at night. It attracts bad spirits, and when you stop whistling, the bad spirits will stop there, and they could be outside somebody's house, and they don't want them. So don't whistle at night. Not a law, but I suggest that you pay attention to it. Okay, eating. In Thailand, it's generally you eat with a fork and a spoon. It's not really done to put the fork in your mouth. I know, but you use the fork as a sort of a bulldozer to put the food onto your spoon, and you put the spoon in your mouth. You also notice there are an awful lot of Thais don't actually close their mouth around the spoon properly as we would. They'll use their teeth to take it off the spoon, but you'll get forgiven. Chopsticks are used with Chinese food only, not with Thai food, and you'll get knives and forks in restaurants. And the other thing you will see is people using their hand to eat using sticky rice. and they'll roll the sticky rice up into a ball and squeeze it in the hand and use the thumb to make an indentation, and then dip whatever they want onto the sticky rice, pop it in the mouth and eat it. You get used to that bit, it's not so bad. Also, you will notice that if you're in a gathering, the men tend to sit away from the women, and they will get served food first before the ladies. Again, tradition. So don't make a fuss about it, girls. It's just the way things are in Thailand, that is. Also, a little thing you should be aware of: at 8 a.m. in the morning, 6 p.m. in the afternoon, if you're in a public place, you will hear the national anthem being played. I do advise you to stop, stand, stop talking. It's not a long anthem, just show respect. If you carry on, you could get into trouble. There's a few locals there who don't like the look of you. They could give you a bit of a hard time. Not worth it. So let's have a look down the list. I think I've just about covered everything I've jotted down here. Oh yeah, don't argue with the Thai man. Thai people are not very good at arguing with foreigners, so it's better steer clear of it. Use the phrase that I taught you earlier, mai pen rai, just give a shrug. If you have insulted a Thai and he wants to, he can call the police in, and then it'll very often the police will say, oh, for goodness sake, we can give the Thai man X amount of money and he'll stop, or we'll have to take it further. I did see one instance of a Falang weeing on the front of a taxi driver's cab, and the guy went absolutely mental. Only to be expected. And the Falang, I won't say what country you're from, but the Falang couldn't see what he'd done wrong. Anyway, luckily for him, the tourist police were called in, and they resolved the issue, suggesting that he just paid the Thai man a fine, and everybody went away happy. But you do see an awful lot of foreigners out there absolutely hammered and falling over on somebody's stall in the market and breaking things and damaging things, and the police will be brought in, and that foreigner will be expected to pay for all the stock he's broken and perhaps a little bit more. The police generally will not take the foreigner's side, so bear that in mind. The tourist police will always try and resolve an issue. They really don't want to have to go back to the police station because of all the paperwork that can be resolved on the street. They'll resolve on the street. But Thai policemen rarely speak English, so as far as they're concerned, it's going to be easier to haul you back to the police station where the translator can be brought in. It's better not to get hammered and fall over on somebody's property, isn't it? So there we go. Also, where you'd see a group of let's just say Brits, out drunk and making a lot of noise in anything other than a sport bar where the football's on and they've just scored a goal, you'll probably be asked to leave, because the Thais don't want, the bar owner doesn't want the police coming down and saying what's going on here. He just wants to be left in peace and quiet. So a bit quieter than we will be at home, Okay, that's about it for this one. If that's helped you at all for your trip to Thailand, please like, share, comment and subscribe. If you want to know anything, or you want anything clarified, or you disagree with anything I've said, please put a comment up, and we'll try and tidy that up. I'm not saying I'm always right, but I've spent now not far off 2 years in Thailand, so I'm just telling you what I've come across, what I know to be true. You might see things on other people's blogs that disagree with what I'm saying, but I'm just telling you what has happened to me in Thailand. And I can honestly say that only on one occasion have I had a run-in with the police, and it was far easier at the time just to pay up and look big. So there you go. Okay, as I say, if you like, share, comment and subscribe, I'd be really grateful. Get me around the world, and look out for the next episode following very soon, which is about driving in Thailand. Okay, thanks a lot guys. Take care, see you on the next vid.